Well. It has been a long, wet, miserable week here in Ontario. The only good thing happened this week was my birthday, of course. But I am here with my man, Ollie. He's got when I was flying this summer, I didn't realize until I had taken a small plane to race Lawmaker that how much noise those earphones actually cancel out. And I talked Amy into getting a set of them. And then when we flew to New Zealand, there was a baby crying the whole time. And she said she had her earphones off for a little bit, trying to read a book, and this baby was crying the whole time. And I never heard the kid crying.
I changed the videos.
What's that?
I changed the videos.
You stop being a turkey. So Ollie has stolen my earphone, my whatever they're called, Beats or whatever they are. Anyway, this summer I flew in a plane, and the plane was really noisy, and I was trying to these earbuds on, and I was trying to hear a television show. You can't hear anything. You put those on, you can hear everything. It really is incredible. So I said to Ollie, "Do you want to come help do my videos?" And he said, "Only if I can wear your earphones." So he's confiscated them for the next little while. A lot to talk about this week. Right off the top, how do I put this? Just apologize. So we're doing a lot. I know when I say, geez, we're doing a lot with the site, there's no way to really prove that to you. I mean, we could be doing nothing for all you know, but we are doing a lot with the site. And there was an email sent out the other day talking about contracts. You have to have them in, or you're going to be locked out of the system. And what had happened was we're trying to streamline the contracts. As you can imagine, it's very important for everybody that is a client of ours to have an up-to-date current contract. But you may not understand how important. It's an actual rule with the AGCO, as it should be, an actual rule that everybody that has a horse with a trainer has a contract. And our contracts are pretty straightforward, but it's a bit of a pain in the butt, right? You got to print them off, sign them, scan them back to us, or send them in the mail a lot of the times, and that's really annoying. And I understand why some people didn't cross their mind, and they never thought about it. So as we approach, and we are approaching very quickly 600 clients in 11 countries, and as we approach that watermark quickly, you can only imagine if everybody sent us their contract via snail mail, and then I had to scan them in to our email so they could be cataloged properly, which is kind of unnecessary in this day and age. So I had spoke to the computer programmer, the people that run TheStable.ca.com, and I said, listen, and again, this is part of the infrastructure we're trying to put in place. We've opened up a door where it was going to be pay-as-you-go, very expensive, or we are going to work for X and we'll be full-time for TheStable.ca. We looked at everything we were trying to get done over the next 6 months and realized that it was going to actually cost us more money if we did it the first way and chose the latter. So these are some of the things we're trying to get. And keep in mind, if there's something out there that you're saying, hey, Anthony, this would be neat. And I get those emails all the time from people, and we are working on them. If you send me an email and say, hey, what about doing this? And you don't see it yet, it's not because I disregarded it. In some cases, maybe I did, but for the person that said, hey, you should get your own plane, I disregarded that email. I didn't go any further with it. So keep in mind, those things, I write them down. I talk to the programmers about those. I know nothing about computers. You might think that I'm technical because I can speak into my phone with a set of earphones, and then I give that to Curtis. He does all the other stuff. I don't have a home computer. I virtually work off my phone. My wife has a laptop, and I don't know how to work it. So, much like changing a tire, I have no idea. So, we rely on other people, obviously. I mean, I can only do so much. Even if I was a computer programmer, when would I have the time to do it? So, I'd said to the computer, Eric's a good friend of mine, runs a great company. And I said, these contracts, I can't blame our clients. They're busy as us in a lot of cases. These are people from everyday life that work nonstop, some of them have multiple jobs and are really in it for, this is why we built The Stable, is for you, the people out there that are trying to get by and looking for an affordable way to be entertained and be a part of something big, this is why we built the stable. So I want to always try and make it easier for you. And if that makes it more difficult for us a little bit, then so be it. But I need to make it easy for people to get involved. Now that you're involved, I need to make it equally as easy for you to get your contract to us. So we're going to have the contract going up on the front of the site. You're going to have to read it. You're going to have to print your name, sign your name in there, I guess, with a computer, and click I agree, like you do in any update of your phone or anything that goes on with technology. Sometimes it'll pop up and you scroll to the bottom and you never read it. You click I agree and hits read it. Make sure you read it. Put your name in, click I agree. That's your contract. It's going to be cataloged with your name. You put your name in there, you hit I agree. It's sent to somewhere where it's cataloged and we can get everybody signed up so easy. And I know it's annoying for you, and I really apologize about the email that was sent out the other day. I was explaining this to the programmer about how this needed to be done, and he said, well, what if people don't do it? Don't worry, I'll send a message out. I didn't mean like do it now. I meant let's talk about this and get it right. Then all of a sudden I started getting emails. I don't want to be locked out of the site, and Eric's a great guy, but easy. I assume, some people go through life with the glass is half empty or half full. I trust most people. If you want to steal my car, it's not that hard. Want to break into my house? Not that difficult. Maybe a little more difficult in my house, but I'm a trusting person. I believe that all our clients are good people that are busy as I am. I'll get a bill in the mail from Guelph Hydro. Didn't pay the bill last month. I made a mistake. I forgot. So I pay it. And the same goes for our clients. I assume if you didn't send your contract in, you simply forgot. So we're going to make it super easy for you. We're going to put it on the front of the site and make sure that everybody signs them. That way we can track it. And if Joe in Wisconsin or Bob in Australia doesn't have his contract signed, we can reach out to Bob and Joe and say, hey, I need to get this done. Just put your name in, hit click I agree, and that's that. And I'm certain everybody can understand why that is so important. So that's that. Sorry for the for the note that you all received. Needed to be polished a little bit, but the intent was there. I mean, Eric's just trying to make sure that things run smoothly. Everybody at the stable now understands how big we're getting and how big we're going to get, and they want to make sure everything runs smoothly, and I appreciate that very, very much. So that out of the way, obviously we have a big announcement coming up on the open house day of who we are hiring to be the director of operations. I thought that would be a good title. Virtually, this is somebody that is going to help me do everything. Somebody that is going to help me run the stable. And it is so hard. You can't just go out and, on Craigslist or Kijiji and find somebody to do this. This has to be somebody that I know, that we can hit the ground running together, that shares the vision that I have of TheStable.ca, understands the direction and knows how to get there. This is an incredibly difficult person to find, and we are so lucky to find the person we did. I know a lot of people have guessed who it is. Some people know who it is, but we're going to try and keep it quiet until the open house to unveil it to the industry, because this person is widely renowned and well known in the harness racing industry, and for us to hire this person was an incredible feather in our cap. So that will be unveiled at the open house on the 9th. Now, in regards to the open house, RSVP, just let us know if you're coming, because we are going to try and cater it. Last year we had Phil and Linda Coleman's food truck come in. They can't this year because they work at Flamborough. They bring the food to Flamborough, and Flamborough built them this beautiful roof and everything around this trailer, this food truck, and they can't just maneuver it. So I've talked to Curtis and Justin and everybody in the stable trying to figure out the best way. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to buy, Subway, tons and tons of subs and donuts and coffee, unless we can find another food truck to come. Either way, don't worry about it. We'll take care of making that happen for you. So we'd like to get people to RSVP. Now, keep in mind, we're going to try and spread the sets out so that people can see all the horses. If we put all the babies that were just broke at the end, nobody's going to wait and see them go, and that's important for us. And some of our better horses that I consider some of our better horses are in some of the later sets. I've finished the sets. We're working on polishing them up, making sure it's cemented. We know the drivers that are coming. James is coming. Jody's in Australia. He can't come. Sylvain Filion is coming. Louis Philippe Waugh is coming. Obviously, Mario Bergeron is going to be there. Got some of the younger kids from the B tracks to come over also and get a feel for them. Scott Young, Colin Kelly won a race for us last night with Gelona. He's coming. Ryan Holiday is coming. Ooh, I'm missing one. Ryan Scott. Colin. Oh, Brett McDonald. He's won some races for us and done great. He's coming. Now, Danny O'Brien had said, listen, some of these horses that are just broke in the bottom burn, you don't want to have any mishaps. I'd feel more comfortable if I went with them. And he's right. So Danny's going to go with 2 or 3 or 4 of them also. Should be a great day. A great day, but 77 horses are in the program. We get as many horses as they would on a small track in the summer in Ontario. So, we're going to try and get them out as fast as we can. But at the same time, for those of you that tuned in the other day, it took us 5 hours to get through them all. Now, it won't take 5 hours to get through them this year because... You want a water? Yeah. Oh, there's only a drink left. Sorry, bud. Oh, wait. Here's one. It's like a fridge in here. We're going to try and... Oh, yeah, I'm talking, bud. I'm going to try and roll through them as quick as we can this year and get it done. Last year was pretty good. We get through it great. So it's not going to be a short day, but at the same time, give everybody an opportunity to see all the babies. I'll give you a little... I told everybody not to say it, but I'm going to tell. I'm going to rat on myself. I trained maybe 15 of these babies. Their first miles ever this week. By themselves, I want to get a look at them, see which ones were acting up, which ones weren't. These were horses that either I felt I didn't know enough about or I wanted to get a handle on. As I told you, Bend Over and Crazy Mission made it to the principal's office. Now, Bend Over was sick this week. He copped out and he got away, but he's going to be in my care all week, and we'll get him cleaned up. Crazy Mission trained him out 247 the other day. I think the fastest trotter in the burn right now. Well, not many of them went. Maybe, as I said, 15 or 18. But Crazy Mission got his head squarely on his shoulders now. A little bit of work, a little bit of heavy lifting, and he actually loved his work by the end of the week. The last day I went out to go with him to train him, he was all business, and he actually trained with another horse in the barn, a horse that I thought would lay waste to him. And around the last turn, he just pinned his ears and he was gone. And he looked great. He looked great. So those are the types of horses I was going with. Now, some of them I wanted to see what they look like. They're just really good horses. I didn't write them down either. I'll write it down in a minute. Horses that I went with, I was really, really impressed with. And I think I can say with all certainty, as of my birthday yesterday, this is Sunday, yesterday, December 1st, 2018, I think I know who definitely the best 5 are in the barn now, which means nothing. You might say, oh, who are they? That means nothing. Some of them I didn't go with. Some of them I didn't get a chance to go with. Other ones are just getting broke and getting started, so it really means 0. But there was a horse that I hadn't gone with maybe once or twice, and I went with this filly, trotting filly, and she was absolutely incredible. Maybe I will put a little list together for you, like you guys got to see last week. Like I said, Jailhouse Master was the most improved. I didn't go with Jailhouse Master this week because he floored me last week. He looked incredible. I didn't go with Anteros. I went with. He looked great. Brush Cut looked great. I went with him. I didn't go with Enjoying My Life because I know she's good. Enduring Strength I didn't. French Twist I didn't. I'll Play It Alone I didn't. Inland Beach, Jailhouse Master. I didn't go with any of these horses this week just because I didn't have to. They looked so impressive last week. So maybe this week's list is a bit useless, but I can tell you after going with everything and looking at everything who I think has all the tools to be any kind of horse. Who knows? All the tools might fall out of the box in June and they end up being a mediocre animal. But I can tell you one horse in particular, really, really impressed me this week. So we got through the open house. Now the dinner, we have 65 people coming to the dinner. That's pretty incredible because Woodbine's not cheap. And I apologize that it's not. We could have went to Flamborough, but they didn't have the room. And you know what? I just wanted to go out and have a nice night with our clients and sit down, have a couple of drinks, and talk about the horses and watch some races and just relax. And I'll tell you what. They told us to have it finalized by December 1st. And we did. We have 65. But if you're out there saying, maybe I will go, I'll try and fit you in if you want. We do, as I said, have 65 people coming right now. I'm sure Woodbine's not going to turn anybody away, but I can't be certain about that. If you want to get in, maybe just shoot me a message and say, hey, is there room? And I'll ask and see if we can get you in. So that dinner should be really fun. I didn't want to name drop and say this guy's coming. Rick Vive is coming. Ricky Vive is coming with his wife, I believe. Very nice gentleman. Not many people know this, but Rick Vive, although he wasn't born in PEI, he spent a lot of his younger years in PEI. And my father knows Rick Vive very well. It was a really odd story. I didn't meet Rick Vive through my father. I met Rick Vive through somebody who's a friend of his agent, and it was an odd circumstance. And when they mentioned the name Rick Vive, I said, geez. Now, Rick Vive, he'd left PEI when I was just a kid, so I said, geez, I remember my dad talking about Ricky Vive. And I never thought much about it after that. And then when this guy said, hey, Rick Vive might be interested in buying into a horse, I said, I think my dad knows that guy. And sure enough, I called my father, and he did. And I've talked to Mr. Vive on the phone a couple of times. Seems like a really nice gentleman. And he'll be coming to the open house and the dinner. I told him, I said, it's not like we're setting up an autograph stand for you, but I would like to show you. He owns a piece of McPherson Thunder, him and Doug Gilmore, but I see Doug Gilmore is very, very busy. I doubt he'll be coming. So too bad. It'd be nice if he did, but at the same time, I certainly don't blame him. Even these hockey players that are retired, they have a lot to do as far as ambassadors go for the team, and I completely understand that. And I'm sure at some point we'll have Ken and Doug out to an outing also, but I don't think it'll be the Christmas one. So that's the dinner. If you want in, give me shoot me a message. I'll see what I can do. See if I can get you in. The open house is done. Now, all the horses that we were going to take OCDs out for the most part have been taken out. The last horse is the filly that Amy and I received from Rose Run Farms. She won't be in the open house, obviously. It's 30 days in the stall. Rose Run Versatile. Surgery went great. Hawks look great. She's back resting in the stall. Zeb's Sunshines, we're trying to get him gated. Obviously, he was 30 days in the stall. We're trying to get him gated with hobbles right now. And we still have 3 horses. Not many of you guys know this. 77 horses are coming to the open house day. And at least 3 or 4 or 5 of them you guys have never heard of. So that'll be a surprise for you also. A couple of them have just shown up and are just showing up this week. So I have no idea in what position they'll be as far as gate-wise. It's a tall order. Hey, could you break our horse and have it ready in 6 days to go, 7 days to go in the open house? It's a lot to ask, but we'll see if we can get it done. Anyway, some more, and I wanted to touch on also, I have it written down here at the bottom. I'll talk about it later. Some more of the infrastructure we're trying to put in place. One of the big questions for us always was HST. HST, and as far as it goes for American clients, and our accountant Greg Brown has reached out to me. He had a link that we're going to put on the front of our site, allows people to get an HST number easily and get some of that HST back. I know it's a pain in the butt for you guys, and I'm sorry, but as a business we are required to collect it and remit it to the Canadian government, and we do, and you'll be able to get some of that money back, I believe. So, a lot going on. We have the infrastructure of the site. We have the new hire that's going to be announced on open house day. We have the babies, 77 of them going to the open house. We talked about all the horses. Okay, one sec, buddy, okay? Say hi to everybody. Hi. Just wait 1 second, okay? I'm almost done. We talked about the dinner, the open house. The sickness in the barn's pretty much gone. We had to scratch 1 horse last night as opposed to 5 last week. A lot of the babies are getting over it, which is great. Ollie doesn't care that I want him to stay. He's just going to head right out and exit now. That's fine. And last but not least is sale revenue. So the last sale of the year. So as you guys know, as we buy the horses, there's sale credit attributed to it. We had a mail strike here in Canada. There's not much we can do about that. Or in Ontario, I guess. And we're waiting for a lot of stuff to come in. Now, if you're out there and you haven't thought about it and you have outstanding sale purchase money to send in, we'd appreciate it if you sent that in, because I will have to send a check off this week. All sales are paid for except for Harrisburg, and that check needs to go out the first of the week. So that's everything. That's a great opening. I talked about the open house at dinner, sickness with the horses, the OCDs, new horses, 77 of them going behind the gate, 77 of them on the open house. Our new hire will be announced. the infrastructure we talked about, the HST, the accounting changes, contracts going on the front of the site. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the stuff we're trying to get done for you over the next few months. And then, of course, the sale revenue request. So that's it. That's the open house. We got a lot going on. Got to fill this out. This is a form to get all our horses, our 2-year-olds coming through. They have the Niagara series, the Valedictory series, the Blizzard and Snowshoe coming up. Certainly we have some horses that fit that. So not just Ontario breds. Oh, that's good. Anyway, got to fill that out tonight. Get that submitted to Woodbine before the 3rd, which is tomorrow. And we will take care of that. Come back in a minute. We're going to talk about all the babies. We're going to talk about the turnouts this week also. They're all going to be coming back in soon. Harry's barn, Kevin's, Jason's barn, my barn. I got a little barn right now too. I got Boldness and Dewey Ann. For those of you out there saying, hey, I better wait. I want to put this in the right place. I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm going to tell you about Dewey Ann and Boldness. Be back in just 1 minute.